Hello, and welcome to Swans and Cake, the podcast by me, Berlin. This series is called This Is Me, and this week I'll be talking all about love. I had a lovely day this week where I went for a walk and I was surprised by all the beautiful wildflowers that I saw along my walk. So today you'll come with me and you'll see the flowers through your eyes. I love flowers, and I hope that you'll love seeing the ones that I saw. Okay, let's go for a walk. And let's talk about love. This week, I've been thinking about love. Love is something so hard to define and means so many different things to different people. Love, I believe, shapes us all. Our experiences of love can be somewhat positive or tainted by our personal relationships with others. A close friend said to me the other day when we spoke about love, she said, "Love itself is easy. Relationships are hard." Do you agree? What is love? What does it really mean when you say that you love someone or love something? Is there one correct answer to this question? Today's episode is called The Loves of My Life, inspired by my idea of love, Queen Elizabeth II, and the band Queen, especially focusing on their song, Love of My Life. Freddie Mercury, the lead singer of the band Queen, fell in love with a girl. He said she was the love of his life. But it didn't end well. Well, it didn't end in a long-lasting romantic relationship. As their relationship came to a close, he sang the song about her. The song Love of My Life. He sang this. "You will remember, when this is blown over, everything's all by the way. When I grow older, I will be there at your side to remind you how I still love you. I still love you. I still love you." As we mentioned before, people often remember their first experiences, their first job, their first heartbreak, and their first love. Who was your first love? And when did you first realize that you loved them? Was it a surprising revelation? Or love at first sight? Do you believe that you can fall in love with someone after meeting them just once? What do you think? Many people throughout history have sung about love. The band The Darkness sang the song I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and I'll read you some of the lyrics. They sang this: "I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart. There's a chance we could make it now. We'll be rocking till the sun goes down. I believe in a thing called love." Bob Marley sang the song I Wanna Love You. He sang these words: "I want to love you and treat you right. I want to love you every day and every night. We'll be together with a roof right over our heads. We'll share the shelter of my single bed. We'll share the same room. Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling?" I don't know if I believe in love at first sight, but I do believe that you can fall in love with someone when you first really see them. Their character, their heart, their core. But is love only real if it lasts? Is love dependent on its duration? Does real love fade away? Or can real love fade away? Or do we just learn to bury it? So the memory of those that we love and have lost is no longer painful when their names are mentioned or memories of them come to mind. So how do you know if what you're feeling is really love? What is the difference between love and an infatuation? The Merriam-Webster's online dictionary defines the two words like this: love. Definition of love: strong affection for another, rising out of kinship or personal ties. Example, maternal love for a child. Love. 2. Attraction based on sexual desire. Affection and tenderness felt by lovers. For example, after all these years, they still are very much in love. Love. 3. Affection based on admiration or common interest. Example, love for his old schoolmates. Love, an assurance of affection. For example, give her my love. So what's an infatuation? It says this: infatuation, noun, a feeling of foolish or obsessively strong love for, admiration for, or an interest in someone or something. Strong and unreasoning attachment. For example, she speaks openly about the real-life subject of one of her songs. A teacher who is both a neighbor in her apartment building and the unwilling object of her obsessive infatuation. Sasha Frere Jones. Another example. Craig Claiborne wrote about this in 1963, when he was deep in his infatuation with dill and meatballs and all things Nordic. Another definition of infatuation is this: the object of an unreasoning or foolish attachment. The example they give is this: and then I began trying to forge their autographs. I'm not sure why I did it at first, but it became an infatuation. I'm not sure how I would define love, but I think love is more than just another feeling. Nina Simone sang and wrote the song Feelings. She sang this: feelings, nothing more than feelings. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Feelings of love. Teardrops falling down on my face, trying to forget all my feelings of love. Feelings, feelings, like I've never lost you. And feelings, like I'll never have you in my heart. Queen Elizabeth II, the reigning Queen of the UK and the Commonwealth, said these quotes about love. She said, "Love begins small, but always grows." She also said, "Grief is the price we pay for love." In reference to the war, she said, "In remembering the appalling suffering of war on both sides, we recognize how precious is the peace we have built in Europe since 1945. During the Second World War, All throughout Europe, the soldiers on both sides of the battlefield had one key thing in common. They often wrote letters to the people at home that they loved. They wrote to their parents, their siblings, and their families. But mostly they wrote to those that they loved romantically. Well, from what I've heard. I have been lucky that my whole life I've only lived in countries during peacetime. I'd never been a soldier, and I've never lived in a war-torn country. So I can only imagine the emotional turmoil of being on a battlefield, or living somewhere where the threat of bombs falling is a constant worry. I can imagine that those on the battlefield, living with constant fear, would need hope. Something good to look forward to. Thinking of home and those you love, I could imagine, would give you hope and a purpose. The famous nurse, Florence Nightingale, who is often called the Angel of the Crimea, was an inspirational nurse who worked during the Crimea War. And she said many powerful things about working on the battlefield. But these three things have really stood out to me. Number one, she said, how very little can be done under the spirit of fear. 2. Were there none who were discontented with what they have, the world would never reach anything better. 3. Rather 10 times die in the surf, heralding the way to a new world, than stand idly on the shore. Who would you write to if you were on a battlefield? What cause would you fight for? Or perhaps, in the worst case scenario, what would you die for? Or do you believe that wars can never be justified? The idea of war goes against what I believe. But at the same time, I believe if there was a war to stop people losing their civil liberties, this may, I believe, in some circumstances, be justified. What do you think? Desmond Tutu said this: if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. If an elephant has its foot on the tail of a mouse, and you say that you are neutral, the mouse will not appreciate your neutrality. In conclusion, I would just like to encourage you all to think about what love means to you. Who do you love? And who loves you? What is your love language? And how do people around you like to receive love? In the past, I have been hurt by relationships, but I've also been blessed by them. And I wouldn't want to rewrite history to change any of my relationships, because every interaction helped me to become who I am today. What would the consequences be of erasing a relationship in the past? Would it change the current me? Would I still be me? Who might I be now without all of my relationships in the past? They sculpted me. They made me who I am today. I first knew that I loved my first love when it hit me that the best parts of our dates or chats were just hearing about his day, Just the plain facts, no funny jokes, no pretense, no scandalous stories. I realized that I completely cared about him, about everything that related to his life, even about topics that I had no interest in at all in my regular life. But if he was talking about it and it gave me some insight into his life, I wanted to hear all about it. It was a beautiful moment when I realized that he loved me too, that we both felt exactly the same. In reflection, the loves of my life had been my parents, my wider family, my close friends, and my first real love. You know who you are. I'm currently single and in no way ready to mingle, but I'm open to love in the future, and I hope to one day meet the romantic love of my life, my Mr. Darcy, someone that I can achieve my goals with, grow with, raise a family with, and get old with. But if I don't meet the romantic love of my life, that's okay. I'll be happy living my life with my other loves, my family, my friends, and my community. Oscar Wilde said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." The artist Yellow Rosa on Instagram designed this quote, "You are precious beyond belief." I think it's reckless and even dangerous at times to accept ill treatment in a relationship under the disguise of love. I cheated on you, yeah, but it's because you stopped loving me. I did it because I love you. Love should never be used as a weapon. Love should never be used to discourage you or make you feel bad. I think it's important for you to define for yourself what love is and have some love expectations. I would encourage you not to let anyone you love treat you badly. You are worth immensely more than you can ever imagine. So, listeners, I challenge you. Learn how to truly love and then begin by loving yourself.